So now it's time to sew together the center square. So this is the center square, and it has lots of funny little angles and lots of hard little sewing, and we gotta be really careful ironing, and mine didn't come out really good the first time. I had to do it twice. So I'm gonna show you how to do it right the first time, maybe. Anyway, we're gonna start with this little 4-patch in the center. So the 4-patch takes, these are all the parts, and the 4-patch takes 2 of these, and 2 of these, the branches that are facing the right side up, and it goes together, I know how, just like that. I'm cheating, no it doesn't, it goes together just like that. It was probably the same thing. So I'm going to show you how to sew that together. You put the 2 squares together, line them up, sew 1/4 inch. I know how to press the paddle really. And then you can do the next one, line them up. And don't lick your fingers at home, because that's really gross. But I haven't figured out how not to. And then sew the next ones together. And if you have this really cool little thing, you can just fit, or take a pair of scissors. And now, we're just going to put them together opposites, and lick our fingers again, and nest them. So nesting is you just push those 2 little seams right up, and one goes this way and one goes that way, and it doesn't matter which one goes which way. And line it up, take a few stitches, and then hold that little connection together so that you can maybe feel it with your fingers, and you just sew right through. And so they're nested perfectly, and you sew it all the way to the end. Cut it off. I have this little handy button that cuts it off. And there is the 4-patch. So it says in the directions, on this one you can just sew the seam, or press the seams to one side. So that's what I am doing with my handy dandy little travel iron. And then pressing it flat from the top. And it came out a perfect square, probably maybe. And then the next step is to sew these funny little angles, and I wanted to show you that. So what we're going to do is take GG and LL, and we're going to sew these together so that they come out into perfect little squares just like this. And the way you do that is when you cut those little smart corners, if you cut them correctly or pretty close, they come out that it lines up really close, so that when you lay it down end to end on this funny angle, it comes out really close so you can see where to place it. And if you did that good enough, or close enough, and close enough actually kind of sort of works close enough, and sew your exact 1/4 inch. Just like that. And then open it up and you press towards the L piece to make the seam nice and flat, so I'm going to do that. And then the next piece, remember, it goes just like that, and you can match the same little smart corners. So I'm matching the little corners there and the little corners there, and you can see on each different side that they match. And that's how this funny little thing, I can't tell you how many I had to do to make this right in the first place. But learn from the guy that never does it right the first time. So then when you press this one out, the important thing to notice is that you have a 1/4 inch seam right here. So that when you sew this together, there's a 1/4 inch right in there. And so now those are all done. And the next step is to make the little wing pieces. So that uses the other 2 of these and the little triangles, the FF triangles. And what we're going to do is sew a wing piece on like this and a wing piece on like this. There it goes. It only takes like 5 tries. So don't feel stupid when you're at home trying to like, how does this go? So you line it up, and you line it up, and you sew it together. So the way you sew these together is you match up the straight edges, and that way you don't have to worry about the funny angles. So I'm going to start with this one. going to sew along a straight edge. And I'm going to end up in this little valley. There's a little point right here where the triangle meets the square. And that's where my thread's going to come, ending up right through. So when I open it up, and I'm going to press the seams away from the center, and then put the next one on, and then I always have to remeasure. And again, I'm starting with the flat side and ending up with the pointy part. And I'm going to sew that on really quick. It's an adverb. You know your adverbs. And I'm ending up right through that little valley where all those points met together. I'll show you here. So I sewed it right through that little valley right here, except the thread came out of my needle and it didn't sew. So we'll be right back. So when I press that open, you'll see that there's a 1/4 inch left right there. And then you just cut off the little ears, and you have that triangle piece. So I'm going to write that again real quick. One moment please while I sew. And I'll iron that open. And trim off the little dog ears, or cat's ears, or mouse ears, or whatever ears they are. So now we have those 2 pieces. Okay, now we're ready to put it together. So here's how it lays out. So I'm going to sew this, and so you sew it together in rows like this. So these 3 pieces you sew together, these 5 pieces you sew or these pieces you sew together, these 3 pieces you sew together, then you sew all those together, then you sew the ends in. So I'm going to sew it together and show it to you when it's done.